So, rally sprint anyone? I don't think I have to tell you that things have been pretty crazy in the last few weeks, well, months. And actually, in terms of motorsport, we have been very lucky. Purely, this pandemic just happened to turn up at a time when we weren't running any motorsport as such. We got round one of our rally sprint series out of the way in March, and then it all went pear-shaped, and then the government eased some of the restrictions and we were able to run round two exactly as calendared. That was just more arse than class, literally. And so at the end of May and the end of the warm weather, as it turns out, we ran rally sprint round two for the year. We had full entries. Unfortunately, a couple fell by the wayside before we even got going. Now, if you follow our Facebook page, you may know that in the week leading up to the event, it was pretty crazy helping out building a Commodore into a rally sprint car. And I'll get into that a little bit further into this video. Anyway, let's get on with the racing. The day dawned pretty clear. It was a nice day. The weather was great. It was a slight breeze. It was pretty dusty. During the day, we ran 4 stages of around 8-kilometre loop, and this is how it all went down. Stage 1 and everyone took a fairly tentative approach. After all, nobody had been racing for weeks. Unfortunately, straight out of the blocks there was a problem. Neil Lenihan and Evan King in their WRX, they were having misfiring issues. The car wouldn't rev more than above 4,000 RPM, and it required some hasty looking under the bonnet to see if it could be sorted out. They weren't alone though, because unfortunately that Commodore that we worked so hard on, which if you look here looks fantastic. They did a fantastic job to get it painted up and sign written to look like this compared to what it looked like at the beginning. Unfortunately for Jack Ryan and Tiana Chapman, started overheating. I mean, it hasn't been run for nearly 10 years and this was the first time that it actually got to be driven anywhere, so no surprises that it had a bit of protesting. On to stage 2, and things looked a bit more promising. Everybody had settled in and was getting out of the gate well. Unfortunately though, Neil and Evan, while they did finish their second stage, the WRX just didn't want to play ball and unfortunately they had to retire. Also, Jack with the Commodore was having overheating problems and it got that severe that the car was lacking power, and unfortunately after stage 2 he had to withdraw the Commodore. However, he would continue to run the Carnacross the next day, and I will be doing a separate video on the Carnacross. Paul Hutchie Hutchinson was having a little bit of trouble with the 4-wheel drive Subaru Liberty. He spun the car on stage 2 and that dropped him about 20 seconds getting himself sorted out and back on the stage again. Stage 3 and stage 4, however, ran without a hitch and everyone had a great afternoon of racing. And after just under 30 Ks competitive, the top 10 were in. 10th place went to Shane Smith and Frank O'Shea in a familiar looking WRX. 9th place with the tail out everywhere went to Dale Hands in his V8 Fairmont. A welcome return to competition for Adrian Kirkbanund, and he brought his Peugeot 306 to 8th. Jared Sewell, pushing very hard with Paul Hutchie alongside co-driving, brought their Liberty to 7th place. Will Carpenter with Mark Riesinger alongside brought their WRX to 6th. Tiana Chapman with Jack Ryan alongside brought her WRX to 5th. 15-year-old Max McRae with Bill Hayes alongside brought his Ford Fiesta ST to 4th place. Mark Riesinger and Will Carpenter brought their WRX to 3rd. Another junior, Drew McShane with Father Dave alongside brought their Can-Am to 2nd. And that left Dave McShane with Drew alongside in the winning position in the Can-Am. And so after the last couple of months and the craziness that have gone around with that, it was definitely good to be able to get racing again. And we had some really positive feedback. So thank you very much to everybody that entered. Our next event is actually in July. And I think that's the end of our dry weather now. The wet weather has well and truly settled in WA, and it's much needed too. I'll leave a link below in the description for the results to this event. Thanks very much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe and share, and I'll catch you again soon. Cheers.